salute. Councilor Clinch.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Silent roll call has been taken and a quorum is present.
Approval of the minutes for the March 4th, 2019 regular council meeting.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Petitions, communications, and citizens' requests. ASCE engineering students from the University of Maine are going to give us a short presentation tonight about the upcoming concrete canoe races in 2 weeks.
Perfect, thank you. So a few weeks ago, we got an email from Will Mannion from the University of Maine Civil Engineering Department about the concrete canoe races. That made it to John Rulo, who forwarded it to me, and I was interested to see how concrete floats. So we've taken this on. This is, I know they've hosted in 2002. This is a Northeast regional for this, so there's several universities coming to Maine. We're going to host this at the 4th Street Boat Launch, which will bring some folks down to that area. So without further ado, I'm going to let these folks introduce themselves and tell you a little bit about themselves as we push forward.
So thank you for having us
Can you
tonight.
get close to the mic, please?
Yeah.
Give us your name first.
Yeah, my name is Erin Brewer. I'm the president of UMaine's ASCE Club and a member of this hosting committee.
I'm Carly Brillant. I'm also a member of the hosting committee.
Hi, my name is Andrew Manzi, also a member of the hosting committee.
My name is Meg Shea. I'm also a member of the hosting committee. Oh, I'm sorry. Is it fine? So, what is ASCE? So ASCE stands for the American Society of Civil Engineers. It's a professional organization across the country for civil engineers, both students and professional members. It's a really good opportunity for students to get to know about their profession, and we get networking, and we also help advance the role of civil engineers in society. So this is the UMaine chapter. We have weekly meetings with presentations from civil engineers in different specialties. This club gives students an opportunity to engage with professionals and explore what we may want to do after graduation. We also do outreach events. This was at the Engineering Expo at USM a few weeks ago, or about a month ago actually at this point. We made concrete hands with the younger kids, and this helps build students' bonds with each other and professors through social events as well.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about the event itself. The event is called the New England Regional Student Conference. What the American Society of Civil Engineers did is they split up the United States similar to the way FEMA split up the regions. And there's 19 of them all across the United States. We happen to be in Region 1. Conference events include a formal business meeting where we discuss items similar to what we would discuss here in a council meeting. We also discuss other events include the concrete canoe competition. In years past, it's included the steel bridge competition, and now we've added a brand new competition, the sustainability solutions competition. This year, they have to build a doghouse. It's very exciting. And then other than that, you know, it's pretty freeform. We're allowed some flexibility in any other events that we might want to schedule, like speakers or presentations from professionals, consultants, or contractors, things like that. And then we have, traditionally we've had our awards ceremony banquet on the Saturday night of the weekend of events. So a little bit about how we got here. Traditionally, what happens is at the prior year conference, the host for the next year is chosen. So last year at University of Vermont, the next host was not us. It was slated to be the University of New Haven. Over the summer, they had to back out of hosting this year's competition due to construction occurring on their campus. It got to be about September, and nobody else in the New England region had stepped up to host the conference. So myself, ladies here with me, and a few other students decided, well, you know what, we can't let this go on any longer. We'll do it. It wasn't our turn to host it. We, like Chief Wilcox had said, we had done this in 2002, and more recently we hosted in 2015. Again, by no means was it our turn to do this, but we decided that we'd be doing the conference a disservice if we didn't step up, so we did. So the team includes 4 of us, as well as 3 others, and several civil engineering faculty members at the university. And despite having an almost 5-month late start, we're still on track to host it in 2 weeks.
So now we're going to share with you what this year's conference is going to be like, what we've planned.
So first of all, this is most importantly the concrete canoe competition, or at least that's probably what you guys care the most about because we're coming to Old Town for that. I'm a member of the concrete canoe team at UMaine as well. This is from 2002. We use the same boat launch we're using now this year. We actually just stopped by there to check out the water, and there's some water going through, so we're hoping. We're hoping. So student teams get to make concrete, or canoes out of concrete. They present technical papers on their design, so this helps everyone learn more about how to make it so it's less dense and make it so it actually floats in the water. This gives us an opportunity as a team to work together to solve an engineering problem. It's also really fun to actually try and row this thing. So races will be held at Old Town Boat Launch. Thank you to your generous support already as far as helping us get this done. And then these are a few photos from UMaine's concrete canoe team the last 3 years. In the center is the last time we actually got to race, because last year at Vermont, the water was too much rushing and it was too fast, so we couldn't actually race for safety reasons. That was at UConn, I believe. And then this one is last year. This was casting day where we actually made the canoe. And the theme that year, let me think, was Light Me Up. So like a lighthouse, light me up, yeah. So we striped it like a lighthouse. And then this photo right here is from the construction process of this year. And this year, the theme is breaking the sound barrier. Yeah, they're the black bears. So we're super excited to see how this year's canoe turns out. We just took it off the mold a few days ago, and we're sanding it at the moment.
So, how the City of Old Town can help us, which we've already discussed with Chief Wilcox and others. So at the boat launch on Friday, we're going to be setting up buoys for the actual races. So this diagram was put together by ASCE, and it's a little confusing to look at it first, but essentially what it's showing is that we're going to have rows of buoys 15 meters apart so that each team can race. So the races will be down, turn around, and then back, and then a slalom race, so you're going like this. And then we're also planning to hang a banner on Stillwater Ave, I believe, and that's in the process of getting done right now.
So, what do we need from you is the gist of this slide. Use of the 4th Street boat launch for the day. So we have a nice, easy way to get canoes in and out of the water. We've spoken with Chief Daniels. We believe we have his support in having fire department boats in the water to pick up anyone that happens to fall in. On that note, we have put out a requirement that all teams will have wetsuits this year, just as an added, we want to make sure nobody gets it. And additionally, and again, should the worst happen, we've also requested to have an ambulance on site in the absolute worst case scenario. In recent memory, we've never had to use one, to my knowledge, but it does not hurt to be prepared. As far as warming areas, things of that nature, feeding people, we've been in touch with the Elks Lodge. They've very generously provided use of the lodge for the purposes of restrooms and keeping people warm during the day. It won't be, we don't foresee a huge volume of traffic, so as far as traffic control is concerned, I don't foresee the need to have police presence on the roads directing traffic. However, I can't say for sure exactly how many spectators. It's kind of a wild card at this point. So depending on the number of spectators that arrive, that could be a factor there. And timing, we're looking to be there in the water between the hours of 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. This year, we have a lighter attended number. We have a fewer number of boats participating this year than we've had in previous years, so we think we should be able to get all of the races done by 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We may not be leaving the area by 4 o'clock, as after the races, the judges will have to tally up the scores and give those out. But as far as having people in the water and therefore requiring the fire department personnel and all the emergency services to be on site, it will probably be gone, dismissed by 4 o'clock. Mia's going to talk to you about insurance.
Actually, I'm just going to go back really quick. So right here in bold, we have a perfect time for spectators. And I really just want to enforce that because all the schools coming have spent all year working on their canoes. And they're so passionate about it. And they just want to share it with everyone around. And we're coming to your town because you're known for canoes. And it's going to be so much fun. And so we want to invite all of you to come and see what all these students have been working on and enjoy the festivities with us. So just putting that out there.
Definitely. So I just wanted to talk super quickly about insurance. We have the event insured for $5 million as an umbrella policy. I have a certificate where City of Old Town has been listed as an additionally insured. And I have digital copies of that as well if you need anything else. So yeah, we have that all squared away. And then we just wanted to take this time to thank you guys so much for your generous support, specifically to thank Chief Wilcox and Chief Daniels and John Rouleau. They have been instrumental in allowing us to hold this conference, so we are very grateful. And we do really hope to bring some canoe-related fun, some engineering-related fun, and we hope to bring some support to the Old Town local businesses. We're going to be serving a pasta lunch, but I think there might be some people who are still hungry, so hopefully we'll be getting some local support to Old Town. So yeah, we just wanted to thank you guys, and we are so happy to be here and to be able to even present this to you. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Do you have any questions or anything, or anything you'd like us to
Do you have a plan B if the river's flowing too fast?
Unfortunately, we don't. The only way that we were able to have things set up was by using the Elks Lodge, because having a tent and the warming station and all that was too expensive. So that's sort of our only option at this point. So if we aren't able to actually race, I think they just pick a winner based on aesthetics and technical things. So that'll definitely be disappointing, but we have other fun events throughout the weekend. So definitely, if you want to come watch some people struggling to race their concrete canoes, if you want to learn more about the technical process or how it actually works, I'm sure there'll be plenty of people who will love to hear about it. So we definitely want to get the community involved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Reports. Just a couple of thoughts that I had. I don't know if you've been up on the road to the airport lately, but it's probably worth the trip. Carmichael's has started filling in the ground. Sullivan's has got a building up, and I'm not sure, but I think they cleared Loring's lot the other day for him to get started on his building, so things are really looking great up there. Standing Committee. Finance, Public, Administrative, and Economic Services, Landfill, Legislature, Sewer, Airport, and Housing Subcommittees. Anybody got anything there?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Why is recreation not, why do we not have someone from the council as a liaison for the Recreation Department?
Good question.
It's privatized. I mean, it's not really part of the city any longer.
Okay, well, and I ask because I'm on the housing, and I spoke with Lori Miller, and, you know, I said, well, you really don't receive funds from us, so I'm not really sure why I'm here. And so we started discussing it, and I said, then I thought, well, recreation, we do still own the building. Do we pay? Do we pay the utilities, or?
No.
No? So they are truly private?
Well, we pay major maintenance problems, don't we?
If they had a major maintenance item,
Do they pay us
we would,
rent
like
for
the
the
roof
building?
or whatever. But like the heating, the city buys the oil, they reimburse us at our cost.
I was just wondering,
Yeah.
that was always a big part of the community, and
Yep.
to know nothing and not to have some type of council presence. I was just curious.
I mean, they've got a board of directors. I'm sure if we wanted to have somebody there, they wouldn't have an issue with that.
I'd like to know what's going on.
You want to volunteer to do that?
Sure.
You got it. Congratulations. Yep. Can we notify him that she's going to be a city council representative there?
Good job.
Thank you. We probably need somebody there, actually.
Well,
Be
if we're
interesting.
going in the direction that we all seem to think we are, we need to get them involved too.
Yep.
And recreation is very important.
Any other councilors?
Yes, I've had many, many complaints about the smell of the diesel engines down where they are holding. This, for one thing, last year papers blew all over the place, people's lawns, and when the carnival comes, they leave the engines running. And I've been at the crossroads waiting to go, and it does smell when the diesels are running. There's so many of them. I don't know what we can do about it, but
Are we talking about the
Brunswick
classes
Street.
here with the trucks right now, practicing driving?
well, probably that too, because the diesel smell.
I mean, because if we're getting a diesel smell now outside of normal traffic, which we can do nothing about.
No, but when the carnival comes
We're
and
talking about the carnival diesels.
carnival and the, this also,
The trash pickup?
yeah.
We have enough diesel running around
Well,
there?
it's papers that blow out, until they're shredded, a lot of them, the shreds just go everywhere.
Can we do something about that when that day, Mr. Rulo?
Wind blows, well, first of all, that material is not acceptable, but it seems to find its way in. Styrofoam, newspaper. When the wind blows,
Good luck, huh?
hey, good luck. Wait, if we pick it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what we do about the carnival. I mean, you know, we permit them to be here, and they have to run the diesels for their electricity. That's how they get their power. I guess we could ban the carnival. City Attorney.
Apologize for being late. Left my office at 4:30 or 5 p.m. Got to Stillwater Avenue at 5:40 and got here at 6:05.
I almost got caught at that tonight. I got there about 15 minutes before you did, but what a mess, huh?
Just a couple of things that I wanted to update the council about. First, our...
Can you move the mic closer, please?
Sure. Two things I wanted to update the council about. First, 79 Sanford Avenue. We found the former owner to that property. She resides in Herman now. I don't think that we would have any difficulty getting her to release any and all claims that she might have to that property. Secondly, I'm satisfied that legally we have given the mortgagees, that is the bank, an opportunity to satisfy the outstanding taxes or sewer lien charges by giving them adequate notice. The law requires that if we fail to notify them in the normal course of filing the liens and all, that we give them 3 months notice, actual notice to make the payments, and we have notified them as early as November of 2018. So we're well past the 3 months if the board, or if the council wants to move forward on 79 Sanford Avenue. I know that we have solicited bids before. I leave it for the council, although I can talk with the city manager about logistics. You can either go with those bids and award it to a party if you wish, or you can move forward with whatever remediation efforts are necessary, but I don't think that we're going to find anybody to reimburse you for those remediation efforts if you choose to go that route. I would suggest that if the property isn't up to code and you do want to convey the property to a bidder who has bid on it, that the requirement be that it either be raised or brought up to code. That would seem reasonable under these circumstances. I don't think that there was so much structural deficiencies with this building as there were some vermin issues, if I recall. I think. So that's by way of update. I would be happy to talk further about that with Bill, but I think that we're cleared. We've found everybody that needs to be notified. I've given them ample notice, and you can proceed to dispose of that property in one of those two manners that I've just described. The second item was the Mitchell matter. We're trying to work things out with Mr. Mitchell, as you know, regarding a sewer easement that runs, or a sewer line that runs behind that property. He gotten a little pushback in terms of our proposal, which was, I thought, quite generous. You know, he could have the property, but we would have an adequate sewer easement. It appears that he wants all of the land behind his house, to the left, to the right, and all the way to the river. So it looks like this rather than like this. So I'm trying to rein him in there. I'll give you an update on that in a couple of weeks, but the court's given me until the 12th to resolve that. Otherwise, I have to file a position paper with the court. So I had advised Bill of this earlier, and I think it caught us both by surprise that he was asking for quite so much. I don't think that we can actually... We don't have the authority to even agree with that. It seems that all the other property owners would have to be listed as parties to that lawsuit if we were to come to that sort of agreement. I'm sure they'd all have to be dragged into it. And so I'm still hopeful that we'll resolve it. And Bill, you had been in touch with me shortly before 5 today about the paddlers lease questions. Is that something just for you and me, or do you want?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can work through that.
All right, that's all I have for you.
Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayo, you're up, I think.
Just following up on a couple of things that we've already touched on. The spring cleanup, just got this put together. John and Jim Dunning worked on this, on the advertisement. The ticket you see in the back. Basically what we're trying to do is just bring a little bit more organization to it. I think it was a good first effort last year, but we had a lot of activity there and some things that showed up that maybe shouldn't have been there. So hopefully this will kind of organize it a little bit better. just take a look at this. I mean, we're gonna be meeting again later on in the week, so if you got questions or concerns on how this is written up or whatever, just let me know. As Ed mentioned, the Penobscot River paddlers, they're struggling a little bit with the insurance side of things, so we're just taking another look at that to see if there's any other way that that can be approached. There may not be. But as always, we want to make sure the city is protected before we let people utilize our property, so I don't know if we can work around them not. They're saying they don't have monies for insurances, but we'll work through that, or try to work through that. And then the only other thing, Wednesday night, be the first presentation of the budget by department managers, so that'll probably take a few hours.
We'll have a finance committee meeting tomorrow night at 4.
Yep,
We're gonna have sandwiches at 4:30 on Wednesday night and start the meeting at 5 o'clock.
yes, yep. That's it for me.
Thank you. Any questions of Mr. Mayo? Consent agenda. Councilor Smart.
Resolved, the Old Town City Council hereby approves the suggested motions under new business items 1 and 2 as presented. Item 1, the Old Town City Council hereby authorizes the city manager to execute all necessary documents to accept the donation of the Little League ball field owned by the Knights of Columbus. And item 2, the Old Town City Council hereby accepts donations in the amount of $3,095.96. Authorize the finance director to issue a check in the same amount to the Good Shepherd Food Bank to be distributed equally to the following food pantries: Crossroad Ministries, St. Anne's Penobscot Nation Food Pantry, Holy Family Church Food Pantry, and the RSU number 34 Methodist Church Food Pantries.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Public hearings. The City Council will conduct a public hearing on the new application for malt and spirituous and vinous liquor license for Kyle Lemieux, doing business as Out of the Ordinary, 296 Main Street. I'll open the public hearing. Any comments?
Dave Russell, the code enforcement officer, has been down there. I think they were in the middle of putting plumbing in, Kyle, when he was there the other day. So he's asked that, you know, when it comes time to read the motion, that it read contingent upon final inspection.
Anybody else? Councilor Klitsch.
Resolved, the Old Town City Council hereby approves the new application for a malt, spirituous, and vitreous liquor license for Kyle Lamoureux, doing business as Out of the Ordinary at 296 Main Street, contingent upon the final inspection.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? I just closed the public hearing, I don't think.
No, you didn't.
Can I close it now?
Go ahead.
I close the public hearing.